Shutdown.
Welcome back to the Enjoy the Walk podcast, guys. Happy midweek blues, I guess, where this will release on Thursday. So, it's been a while since Dante and I, and, unfortunately Isaiah couldn't join us, but we haven't sat down and just kind of, blew smoke and shot the shit a little bit and been, guys and kind of how we started this podcast is, just recapping our own golf experiences. And it's been a while because we haven't had golf for a while. So it's sweet to finally have it back. I was able to finally get out in Maryland as well. Dante's been playing his butt off in New Jersey and Pennsylvania. And then I just got out in Pennsylvania, yesterday. So it's been fun. And I think this whole episode will just kind of us going back and forth and not only our own golf experiences, but what the professional golf ranks has coming up from the different matches, Tom Brady, Phil Mickelson, Tiger Woods, Peyton Manning, and then you got the match with the guys down in at Seminole. So we got a lot of good things to talk about, and I'm excited to dive into this one.
Oh, absolutely. But first, how was it when Maryland finally said you guys can golf and you stepped on the first tee?
So, okay, I'm gonna take that two-part question. How was it when they first announced? Like ecstatic, but also pissed. Because, and hear me out here, because I had already planned to come home for Mother's Day before Maryland said they were opening. So I knew all the guys at the club and all my buddies were going to be like, yo, let's get out, let's play, let's go. And I'm like, I only have one day to do this before I'm leaving again. Like, come on. So, no, I was absolutely pumped. We were one of the last 3 states to open in the country. So it was one of those things where like you're looking around you and you're saying, what's up? What do we have to do that's different from everybody else? Because, at the end of the day, Maryland as a whole was not, a really bad situation through all this. We weren't seriously having issues with this pandemic. Obviously the Baltimore metro area was, but it was just like, man, what does golf have to do to get back? And it was sweet to finally have it. And I was able to get out, did not get out the first day, but I was able to get out the second day. Tee times were an absolute just mess on Thursday. Clubs didn't know what to do. A lot of clubs didn't even open Thursday because there was no, the way I understand and talking to, shout out to Delegate Dan Cox. He was kind of back and forth with a lot of the people in the Eastern Shore, including me and some others at Glen Riddle, where I'm a member, that, he was basically saying there was an initial conversation from the state of Maryland talking to all the golf courses, talking to the delegates, the state representatives about, how could we open it? When are we going to open it? And then it seems like the conversation went cold for a while. So when they announced on Thursday that, or actually Wednesday, that they would be opening on Thursday, it took everybody off guard because there was no conversation of like, all right, be ready because this could be when. It seemed like from the golf industry's perspective in Maryland, a very kind of snap decision.
Yeah, I was going to say that like they just dropped the mic real quick saying, yeah, you can go play tomorrow, because I know a lot of the other states across the country, the governors said it almost maybe 3 to 5 days in advance, which allowed the courses and the governing bodies to find a way to say, all right, well, what kind of guidelines are we going to have? What's going to be implemented and put in place? And then kind of, all right, well, everything's got to be online. Let's try and let's follow all these type of guidelines in order to get the players out in golf. Maryland just said, yeah, go out and play and then have at it. And it was just a complete shit show.
Well, and it's funny you say that too, because I feel like that's the reason that a majority of the courses that didn't open, they weren't prepared, whether it was staffing in the pro shop, whether it was figuring out, because they announced that golf was coming back at like 3 p.m. But that was it. There was no, wait to hear what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. Like, with you guys in New Jersey, like you said, there was an initial, okay, we're opening. And then there was a follow-up of here's how we're going to open, twosomes, no clubhouse, yada, yada. So Maryland didn't come out with that until 7 a.m. the day we were opening, which completely screwed golf courses. My own golf course said, we're not opening till 10 a.m. at best. because we just don't know the guidelines. Are we going to have to, sanitize every cart that's been sitting around for this whole time off? Or are we going to be able to open the pro shop? Or are we going to have to put a tent outside? No one knew really what the scenario was going to be. Even going into the morning after tee times were already booked, people opened up courses and online tee times and stuff. So it was a very kind of crapshooty situation for courses to open, which is, kudos to the staff, that I was at least experiencing on Thursday. I didn't even try to get a tee time on Thursday, but kudos to them anyway. They handled it phenomenal. Everyone that I talked to that did play Thursday, once they got out to the course, it was a breeze. And, as we mentioned in so many other podcasts, these courses are in phenomenal shape.
Isn't it? It's crazy. And even if you, I played, my courses, I bebopped around to the ones that I guess you could say are considered my reciprocals. And then I decided to play a different public track because I tentatively still have a tournament to play there. And it's a public course. So I said, hey, I want to go there, see the track, see the conditions, see, how the layout is, see how I'm going to strategize when I actually go play when it counts. And it was pure as all hell. And I feel like it was just such an underrated course. It's one of those like hidden gems. And I've known friends who've played there before. Yeah, it's nice. It's a good track, but every course is just in phenomenal condition. It's insane. And I was seeing some of the pictures that you were posting, and just everything was green and just smooth as can be.
It is absurd. The first day I got out, shout out to Steve DiCarlo. He's an assistant pro down at Rum Point. He kind of texted me once the news broke that we were open. Hey, let's get something Friday, midday. It's going to look like it's going to be almost 70. Dude, it ended up getting to 75. I got burnt. So first day back, I got a burn, and it felt great. I couldn't have been more appreciative of it. It was just like, oh, I'm back. This is great. But yeah, we played out at Rum Point on Assateague Island. That course is usually it's a phenomenal track, but it takes so much play, right? Like it's a package course. So all the people that come down to Ocean City, they play it as part of their packages with Lighthouse Sound or Glen Riddle or Eagles Landing, or it's always part of a package deal. So it's got a ton of play usually, which means the greens are just chopped especially by like late afternoon on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday. They're just ball marks everywhere, spike marks everywhere. It was unreal how smooth these greens were. I've never seen them in this great a condition before. And even on Friday, when we were the second day of having golf back, we were one of maybe 30 guys out there on a gorgeous day. We flew around. We played in like 2.5 hours.
It's insane. Are there guidelines out or now, or like how's that
there
working?
are, but also in just weird Maryland fashion through all this, when they said open, we kind of just went from 0 to 100 real quick. We can go in pro shops. Pro shop staff has to have masks on. It's up to the discretion of the course whether their players have to have masks or not. The course I played at, we did not have to wear masks, on course. Other than that, 2 people to a cart is a go. We saw couple foursomes out there. So, you can book foursomes, 2 guys in a cart. They're just kind of making sure, like, sanitize every cart. Try if you can to have 1 use carts throughout the day. If you got to recycle a cart, obviously, complete wipe down and bacteria cleanse of everything. But yeah, for the most part, I was looking over, I think we posted it to our Instagram, the guidelines in which Maryland has to operate. But I'll tell you what, it's not far from, the norm, in all honesty. No food and beverage is about the only other thing that's not running right now.
I would say the norm is probably, I would say on the broad scale of things, from what I've been seeing, is 15 minutes apart, 1 person per cart, food and beverage closed, and pretty much pro shops closed. And then just making sure, no rakes are out there, no touching of the flag sticks. They got either PVC pipes or they got that easy lift system, or they got pool noodles in the
Let's
bottom of the cups.
let's jump into that real quick because I have now experienced all three of them, and I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to tell you right now which one I hate.
Ooh,
the PVC has got to go.
Oh, so
the PVC pipe has got to go.
I played PVC. So what that PVC looked like? Was it just like a piece, like a cut PVC pipe that wrapped around, that just was like with like a little slit and then hooked onto the flag stick?
No,
and then
it was not one of those easy pickups where like it was dropped in. It was a PVC like 2-inch, 2 1/4, 2.5 inch PVC pipe that they dropped in. Yeah, kind of exactly like the roll you got in your hand. So like basically the size of a roll of athletic tape for those people who are just listening and not watching on YouTube. But yeah, it was exactly that, but just dropped in and then the pin put in between, like, you know, the PVC and the cup. So it's just it's like a loose piece of PVC pipe just dangling around in the cup. And it doesn't even bear, like, maybe they just got the sizing wrong. Maybe they just had it laying around, but like your ball can drop in between the PVC because it wobbles so much. So then like it's still going to the bottom anyway. So maybe I just experienced a lackadaisical use of the PVC pipe, but I'm a huge fan of the pool noodle after yesterday.
Pool noodle's nice, except I played on Saturday and it rained Friday night, the night before, and the cups still had water in them. So guess what? The pool noodle floated up out of the hole. So we were like, damn, like that pissed me off a little bit.
What are the chances, though? That is absolutely hilarious that the one time you guys go to play, the pool noodles actually floated out of the cup.
So we're sitting there like, really? So now you're playing like how some courses did where they raise the cups, and it's, to me, that's not even golf because all you got to do is hit it and it's technically quote unquote in. There was a few holes that, you know, I guess the rain and it didn't drain, so there was still water in the cup. Well, here it is, just floating on up out of the thing. But back to the PVC pipe, the course I played, it was Indian Spring Country Club. That was the one with like the cones and everything I showed, and they had, this is the best besides the easy lift. I haven't played easy lift, but I've seen it, which I thought was pretty cool. But what they did, they said PVC pipe, but when you looked into the hole, it was like this circle disc that was wrapped around the it covered the entire hole. So there was only maybe about like quarter to a half an inch deep into the thing. It was like this, almost like a shield where the ball would just fall right in there, and it actually gave a little bit. I thought that was really cool. I wish
that
a lot
sounds
of
like
courses would do that.
some seriously good engineering right there.
It really was. I should have taken a picture of it, but yeah, it was really cool. It's kind of like this PVC pipe disc that was kind of just almost covered 3/4 of the hole, and the ball would just fall in. I really enjoyed that. Who had easy lift?
So actually, it was just on the putting green. So it wasn't on like an actual playing surface. It was just on the practice facility, but it was where I played today, or yesterday, I'm sorry, for this podcast. But yeah, it was really neat because it was just on the mini flags, and they had all the easy lift system on the mini flags, and it was cool because it was their way of letting you go out and practice putt before you go out into and play your
honestly round. The easy lift is probably the best, in my opinion. If you are afraid of people touching the flag stick, you can still, depending on how, whatever the PVC pipe or the pool noodle, how it's cut, it may be cut a little short to where you still have to dig your hand in there. You're still touching it.
Right.
The lazy lift system, you like just take your putter head, lift it out of the hole, and like the way that piece is, it's kind of like beveled or however you want to explain it, and it just rolls off. And then your ball's back on the green, and you can just pick it up and go. So I don't know. Didn't play with the easy lift. That's my favorite if I had to choose, or the way Indian Spring did it with that PVC. I thought that was cool. Pool noodle's nice, but hey, if it's gonna rain, expect some of those pool noodles to float up on out of.
I was gonna say, did not get to experience that, but that is absolutely priceless. That had to happen, and I can guarantee you, if people across the country are using pool noodles, you're not the only place to have that happen, and that is just that's priceless. I love that. I thought
it was actually hilarious, but at the same time, I didn't even think about that. None of us none of us thought that would even, didn't even cross your mind. So you're
I don't
sitting
think
there,
it crossed many people's minds that a pool noodle could float out of a cup. Like that was like, when people started using those, it was the most ingenious idea. Like, yeah, of course we would use a pool noodle, duh. And then that happens. That's fantastic. But I tell you what, when it does work, I was a huge fan of it. I didn't have any putts that like hit the lip and like didn't, weren't affected by the pool noodle. Like the softness of the pool noodle is very receptive. The way it, even if you kind of hit like a shot and it could possibly go in, there was a big debate on the pro golf scene whether Jordan Spieth actually made a hole in one or if he made double bogey. So there's footage of his ball, and there's a phenomenal mark on it too. He broke the PVC inside the cup that was at the course he was playing, but his ball hit the PVC and actually traveled out of the playing area into a hazard. So his ball was in the cup.
What?
So
this
Jordan
is during
Spieth's ball was
quarantine?
this was during quarantine. It's a big debate right now. I want your opinion on it. Did Jordan Spieth make an ace or did he make a double bogey?
Oh man, that's tough because
he broke the PVC inside the cup.
I would call that an ace because we've also run into an issue too with the pool noodle where we were putting, and I guess it wasn't cut deep enough, so the ball went in the hole, and you knew that it was going in the hole, but it hit the pool noodle and actually like bounced out and kept rolling. Like it wasn't like you can distinctly tell whether if you were taking a putt and you had a lip out right on the edge of the cup, or it went in and then bounced out. And it was actually me who made the putt, and my buddies know like I get heated sometimes, so I like looked up like, and they're like, "No, that's good." And
I said, like, did anybody else see that before I lose my lid?
I was like, "Yep." I was like, "Yeah, you know that." I was like, "You know that was good." So, yeah, that's.
I don't think it's
crazy.
an ace. I don't think it's an ace.
You don't think it's an ace?
But also, I'm going to play devil advocate to myself. So I don't think it's an ace. But if the definition of an ace is dropping to the bottom of the cup, then nobody is holding anything, and then no golf is truly being played if that's your definition of an ace. You know what I'm saying right now?
Yeah, but they changed the rule now. If the ball just crosses and if it gets wedged, it's in. It's almost like the NFL. All you got to do is cross the ball across the plane, and you're in.
See, I'm a big college football fan. Whole ball has got to cross.
All right. Well, in the NFL, if your hand crosses at the ball, you're in. Even like the tip of it just like crosses. They're like calling that a touchdown.
Oh, Tigers.
No,
I'm a big LSU Tiger fan.
No, you're not.
But no, really, I'm a big advocate of the ball falling, and I know it's impossible during this time, so it brings up a great debate, and I'd love to hear what our listeners have to say about it too, because I think that's a phenomenal poll, because I just think there's so many guys that are, yes, it is. There's so many guys that are, no, it's not. It's a tough one.
That is tough. And actually, come to think about hitting the PVC, you got plastic, like you were saying, like foam, it gives a little bit with like the pool noodle. PVC, man, if you're coming in there hot, that thing's bound. Because I'm pretty sure you
had no chance.
Or if you've had putts or shots into back in the day when we weren't going through this, regular cups, and if the cup was actually placed incorrectly and you had the top of the cup edge sticking out a little bit and it goes in and bounces back out, I could see that with the PVC pipe too. So I don't really know. But Jordan Spieth probably doesn't care because he's probably he already has some on tour and probably has a crap load before he even made it on tour. So he's
I don't think that's ever the mentality. I think every time a golfer has a hole in one, they're jumping out of their shoes.
I'm gonna have to find this video.
Yeah, we'll show it to our fans and see what they think, because I don't think it's an ace, but it's up for debate and it's a good one. But something else I want to get into as well is just kind of the overall experience. We've had about a week. You've had about two weeks with golf back, close to it, I believe.
About a week and a half.
Yeah, so you've had a week and a half of golf back. What's the overall assessment of of what it's like to be back. I know, we talked about it before, and the initial experience of trying to figure it all out was a high anxiety situation,
Mm.
as it was for us. It was a shit show, to say it lightly.
Yeah. So at first, and I wrote it in one of my blogs. Check that out, Unleash the Beast.
Check it out,
on our
guys.
site.
www.enjoythewalkpod.com blog. We got a blog on there, guys. Check it out. Dante writes some heated articles, and they're good reads.
Yeah, they did it. Obviously, they busted their ass. Grounds crew, all the way down to management and staff. They hats off to those guys all across the state of New Jersey and all across the country who have been tirelessly working in order to make this possible for us golfers to just go out and play. At first, there was some high anxiety that was over. It was kind of like, where basically the joy of it wasn't there. It was overpowering the joy because the anxiety was like, all right, we only have X amount of players that can play per hour. Like, how am I going to get a tee time? Like, when's it happen? Like like all these things are going through your mind rather than just the excitement of we get to play golf again. So eventually I was able to get tee times. I figured out a nice logistic system. I'm keeping that to myself so no one else knows in our area because I want those tee times. I'm going to be selfish on that.
Oh, come on. Share the wealth, Dante.
All I have to say is just make sure you book. We get 5 days in advance. Just find the right time to do it. So I've been, we've just been planning well ahead. Just plan well ahead. You'll get your tee times. We have 6 courses that we can play from, which is great. So obviously we're bebopping around, which is I actually like that because, normally we just go to the deer. We go to Runny Deer every week. Same thing. Now it's, let's try here. Let's go here. Let's mix it up. So you're getting full usage out of it,
Mm-hmm.
which I really like. Different tracks. So you got to figure out different strategies as you're going to play. But once all said and done, like once you're getting your tee times, once you know who you pairing up, because it's twosomes now. So you just basically find a buddy and like, you just want to play like every weekend or whatnot and just have at it. Once you got that going, once you get to the course, they got it all pretty much. You roll up, check in 10 minutes before. They tell you that then you can proceed to go. And then they double check you again and you're good to go. And to be honest, once you're on the golf course, you totally forget all what's going on behind you. You are out playing golf. And it's one of the greatest reliefs, especially to a golf addict and a golf enthusiast such as you and me. I mean, it's such a relief. It's very good for mental health. I completely forget what's going on in the outside world. I will completely out playing golf. I'm out in the sun.
Yeah, I will 110% agree with you there. It's unbelievable. Once you step on the first tee, you put your phone in the pocket, maybe take a couple snapshots like us. We let our listeners in on our rounds sometimes. Mm-hmm. But even still, you're out there playing golf and golf brings you in so strongly. Like you got to focus on your shot. You got to focus on your putt. What's the wind doing? Where's this ball going to go? Where do I want to play in from? There's so many things to think about on the golf course to simply play well that you can't think about anything else. And that's the beauty of it. And that's why I have a story from my dad here that, I feel like it's so crazy cool to share about the game of golf. I think it was Tuesday. Yeah, it was right before Maryland announced they were opening. My dad went over to our home course. It's a course that's struggling right now. They're having trouble finding new ownership. It had been a course that in the past year or two has kind of gone really downhill. Wasn't seeing all the rounds being played. Wasn't seeing that much people. It just wasn't seeing that much light at the end of the tunnel of being a good golf course. It used to be one of the greatest manicured, well-kept courses in our area. And my dad went over there Tuesday to play, couldn't get a tee time. He said it looked like one of the largest scramble tournaments you had ever seen was at this course. because there were people parked in the maintenance lot. There were people parked like up the entrance. That's how busy this place was, because Maryland golf wasn't open yet. I live in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, which is like right near the Mason-Dixon lines. People were traveling up from Maryland to play Mountain View. It was awesome to see that many people at a course that was struggling that hard because of the times. And he said there was a majority of the people there were asking about rental clubs, or were going somewhere to get a buddy set of clubs because they hadn't played in years, or they were trying it for the first time, simply because golf was the only thing to do. And I think that's awesome. In a time where we had probably struggled for a very, at least 6 weeks, if not longer, to find some feel good stories or some light within the golf industry, or anywhere for that matter. It was awesome to see people turning to golf as their kind of light at the end of the tunnel through all this.
Absolutely agree. Even personally too. And even my dad, he was kind of, it was getting to him mentally a little bit too. And, he's just sitting there and he's like watching the news, and I kept yelling. I'm like, dude, you got to stop watching the news.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, you're just going to get 20 different stories. And he looked at me one day when we were out on the course, I think it was last Monday. He goes, and we were talking, and he goes, this just feels good. Like, it just feels to get good at, like, I'm excited, like, get up and go out and play golf. I'm looking forward to do more. I get the motivation and the energy to go do house projects and this and that. And he goes, it's just great. And I even said, I was like, what I took out of it too is I just, from being cooped up in the house for like 2 months to then being able to go outside, being in a confined space, I just started feeling unhealthy. I just didn't feel well. I didn't feel my normal self. That first week I was out on the course, and that first day outside, I immediately felt 10 times better on a health stand. I just felt clear. I felt like my lungs were,
wasn't it like unreal? It's almost it's almost like the switch flipped, and it was like, all right, we're back to normal. It, like, in your head, that first 100%. Day back, like, you're just like, all right, that's cool. Like, we're living again. It was basically like, all right, we're living again. Because it just, like, I would agree with you 100%. And now, granted, I was blessed with gorgeous weather the first day I was allowed to go back out on the course.
Yeah, you did. Holy smokes.
Gorgeous weather. But it's like, man, it's like I was down at the course. It was me and my buddy, and we were just walking, having a good time. And it's like, I almost felt like, man, I need to go down to like Ocean City and hang out at like the boardwalk after this or something. Like, it felt like a midsummer round where it was just back to normal. And
right.
And it was that breath of fresh air that I think we needed in a time where I think we're close to at least, finding that sense of norm again. We're not there by any means, but we're getting there, and we're getting closer. Mm-hmm. And it was just, for any golf fan out there, I know they know what we're talking about when we were finally allowed to walk on the course again and just play, not even play well, because I know I didn't play well, but just to play.
Oh my God, I stink. It's holy smokes. I have no touch around the greens. My putting was awful. And the past few days it's been windy. So, like, I don't have any control over my irons, and with the wind, oh, dude, the ball's all over the place.
So the
like
2 rounds
yards left off the target.
The 2 rounds I played so far, I've had about 25 mile per hour winds and about 45 mile per hour winds. Steady. I got the absolute crap beat out of me at a course really close to me here in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, Penn National. Iron Forge course, phenomenal course. Just gorgeous layout, top to bottom, great place. Awesome condition. Could not have been in better shape. The greens were running in like midsummer form. The first putt I hit was only a 10-footer. I had about a 15-footer coming back. I just clobbered it. They were running that fast. But man, I mean, I was hitting some 8 irons today that were only going about 100 yards. Now, for those who don't know me and don't play golf with me, I hit an 8 iron for anywhere from about 155 to 165 on a dead day, on just a regular flat day, no wind, no nothing. So for an 8 iron to only go 100 yards today, and that was the norm for 18 holes, I'll tell you this. The wind might be the worst element out there because
It's
it just
brutal.
beats you, man.
I didn't realize it until so obviously the first week that we were able to play. Dude, I'm like so lost with the
I'm
times.
sorry,
I
what
don't
day
even
is
know
it
what day
again?
it is anyway. Yeah. So anyway, like the first weekend we were able to play, and then oh yeah. So yeah, actually this is like I'm going on like my second week of playing. But like that previous week, the week it was Saturday, Sunday, Monday, it was pretty good. And then later in the week the weather started getting a little iffy, and then it started getting windy. And it started getting windier. So we played last Saturday in the cold and the wind. I played Sunday in the wind, and I played today in the wind. I I I need to go find a place where it's windy 24/7 and learn how to play in the wind because
My dad made a
I
phenomenal point, though.
struggle.
My dad made a phenomenal point. Now he's actually been playing some good golf, and he, like I said, is in Pennsylvania, so he's had a couple weeks up on me, to play and everything. And we were dead even after 9 today, and neither of us broke 40 on the front 9. So that just tells you how tough conditions were. And I had a slight malfunction of footwear as well. I tried to wear a set of shoes that were brand spanking new, probably a half size at least too small for me. And I actually played the last 8 holes barefooted, just in my socks. Played phenomenal. Might just play barefooted the rest of my life. Best 8-hole stretch I think I've had in windy conditions in my entire life.
Yeah, I'll agree with you. I was breaking in a pair of shoes too, and I mean, right out the box, took them out to the course, and great, they were comfortable. Did I think about the break-in period? No. Did they cut me up? Absolutely. So the pass, and I said I wasn't the. I was like, I'm not losing. I'm not letting this ruin the rest of my rounds. I'm gonna find a way to figure this out so I can play through the pain, and but without making the wound bigger. And I was able to figure it out. And I know you're running into that issue, and you need.
So yeah, so I didn't think through at all. Actually, let's just stop it at I didn't think. That's where we'll stop it.
Same.
Yeah. So like you said, we were wearing in a pair of new shoes, and both experienced some blisters. You did the smart thing. You went the sport guy route. You went athletic tape, pre-tape, the feel good, the real route that you should do. I grabbed a Band-Aid today. That's all I did. I grabbed a Band-Aid, like a Walmart style Band-Aid. Dude, I bled through a Band-Aid today and my sock today. It was brutal. I got through 12 holes and just couldn't stand it anymore. But like I said,
Well,
I might
the weather.
I might never buy a pair of shoes again in my life the way I played those last 8 holes.
The weather's finally turning to get May weather like this week. So, and I know you're going to want to play. So, in order to do that, I'm going to tell you what to do. And for anybody who out there who wants to, golf and you're having blister issues on the back of your heel, but still want to play without affecting the wound and trying to alleviate the pain, this is what you do. Go to your local CVS or go to your local Walmart and go to that foot section. Don't go to like the athletic. Well, you're gonna go to the athletic part, but mainly the foot section. Their stuff's there too. You're gonna get. They look like Band-Aids, but they're actually for heel blisters, and they're like this cushion pad that Band-Aid kind of tape, and you put that on there. I don't know if there's ointment on it. That's ridiculous. They feel like it's actually stuck onto your skin, and they're waterproof and all. They're great. Then you go out and get yourself some pre-tape. Just like this. If you're watching the video, y'all know what pre-wrap is.
That good stretchy pre-wrap. Any athletic trainer knows what that nice stretchy pre-wrap is.
Athletic tape, but one of the biggest things, it's called gentle tape. It looks like regular tape, but it's called gentle tape. It's basically athletic tape, but it almost looks like a cast material, like if you broke your arm, but it's stretchy. It's stretchy. And so what you do, you're going to take so you put your little cushion on the heel, like, or a Band-Aid or whatever, it's in Neosporin, just to cover that up. You get the pre-wrap tape, you wrap that around. So you do it kind of like in an X formation. You wrap it around like the arch of your foot. And then as you're coming around, you're going to angle it to go around the back of your heel. And then you're just going to go back around. You're just going to constantly do that, kind of like a figure eight almost. And you just keep doing that and doing that and doing that until you feel as if there's like a nice thick piece around the back of the heel. Then you take your gentle tape and you wrap around that like same style once or twice, just to kind of like confine it and get some more padding. Then you just rip a piece of athletic tape and just tape down the so it doesn't flop up, and then you're good to go. And then you put your sock on, and then you should have a solid padding, and it'll alleviate the pain, guaranteed. Because I played an entire week straight with blisters on my heel and didn't reopen the wound. Didn't really feel much pain. Maybe towards like the end, I just felt it a little bit, but no blood, nothing. I mean, I was good as new. Week later, while playing, the back of my heels are recovered or almost recovered.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, ladies and gentlemen, I will be proof in the pudding tomorrow. I can guarantee you that. I am playing tomorrow night again with my dad. I am walking, so I will put that to the test. Like I said, I bled through more Band-Aid and sock today than I ever need to ever again on the golf course. So now, granted, this is only for your walkers out there. Our cart riding friends are not going to experience this same kind of issue that we have in the past. But yeah, shout out to those guys that want to walk it and, need a little extra support because I know I'm one of them. And boy, oh boy, it's not a pleasant
One thing I'll tell you, if you're wearing flimsier shoes, I felt as if I was going into a lacrosse or basketball game with the taped ankles. I felt so stable that
you were lacing it up with Pippen and Jordan out there.
I pretty much was. That would be sick to do in real life. But yeah, that's what it felt like. I felt like I was getting ready for game 6, about the game 7. Well, they never went to game 7, but we don't have to go down that road. But yeah, it was cool. Definitely different feel. Felt really stable with it on. I mean, I'm not going to do it all the time.
Yeah.
Because it costs money, and I mean, I'm no athletic training facility to where I just get a pallet of shipload of
pounds of athletic tape. But yeah, I'm all about, man. I need to try something.
It that should help. Basically, the idea is to cover the wound and then provide a padding back there, and that should do the trick. And then I actually wore, like, they were colder days, so I had thicker cabin socks. So I threw those on actually just to keep my feet warm, and those are, heavily padded as well. They're thick, so that gives. Oh, dude, I didn't even feel it. It was great.
I'm all about it. Very cool, man.
Yeah.
Well, that's it's funny because in these times, I feel like I scored a deal, and I feel like a lot of courses are doing this today. Like during these times, it was $30 for me to walk Penn National, a top 50 Golf Digest course. And it was just in an immaculate shape. So if you guys can get out there and walk it, courses are cutting insane deals for people who walk right now. Some places are gouging the hell out of prices for walkers and riders alike, because they know, and especially in New Jersey, I can't blame them. If they're only sending out twosomes, and 8 guys an hour, like you said, I don't blame them for charging what they do. They got to pay the bills. And
I mean, it's 25% of normal capacity on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
like I said, I don't blame them. They have to do what they got to do. But in most places in Pennsylvania, I've realized from just checking out Golf Now and going onto a couple of different websites today, you can cut some deals if you walk some places.
And that's a cool thing. A lot of these courses that either like force you to take a cart because they're, kind of the resort style-esque, and there's a lot of space in between certain holes.
Mm-hmm.
They're actually saying, hey, yeah, if you want to walk, go right ahead, which I think is awesome. And I think that I'm hoping this is a push to promote more walking to some of these courses, because it can be done rather than the cart. I mean, it just kind of alleviates so much.
I unfortunately see it going back to carts only very fast, and it's unfortunate because it's part of that golf industry that's stuck in its way, of doing it one way, and this is the way we do it. That's the way we've always done it, so that's how we're gonna do it. Kind
That's
of
the
mentality.
worst. I hate that mentality.
And unfortunately, I see it at my own club too. You know, they said the email they sent out, we are promoting walking for now. Was that what they said? For now, until you know things relax, basically. So it's like I think some places might have the epiphany that, oh wow, we actually might have had faster rounds with people walking, and we might not have had those bottlenecks like we thought we were going to. And then you're going to have the courses that are like, all right, you know, you guys are cut off from walking, you know, the restrictions are lifted, riding only.
But even on the other side of it, the player side of it, those who you normally go out and play golf and they always take a cart because they thought that's the thing to do. And now you see people like, I'm scrolling through Facebook that have friends of mine that play golf that normally ride, and just that because that's the standard norm. That's what it's always been done. Reaching out, anybody got a push cart, anybody got a pull cart, or does anybody have like a lighter bag that I can use? Golf. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. It may get some courses to realize, hey, you know, walking ain't that bad of a thing. And players who take a cart realize, you know what? Maybe going out and walking 9 or 18 is actually better than sitting in a cart.
I'll tell you one thing Steve and I did, which was fun. It challenged us, but it also made me realize maybe I can kind of change up my bag setup. When we walked around Point the first day they were open, we only carried 7 clubs. So let me walk you through this setup. It was putter, 54, pitching wedge, 8 iron, 6 iron, 4 iron, driver.
So almost
I had 1 wood in the bag.
So you basically went evens. You took the even irons out.
Yep.
Okay.
And I almost broke 80 for the first time being on a course in 2 months.
Makes you have to strategize. Now, okay,
hold on. The cold hard shank I hit on number 2 didn't help.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that. I started laughing because I was like, all right, I'm not alone here. We are struggling as a team here, struggling while our going out. It's tough. And I'll
Enjoy the Walk squad is not looking good odd-wise right now for the Barstool Classic.
Yeah, but I'll say this: it is tough coming out of the car cold without a warm up, without any practice, without any feel for the greens. You have no idea what your ball is going to be doing on the range, and you tee it up on the first hole and just give one a rip, and you say, "Okay, here we go. Let's see what happens." So it kind of sucks. It may take a couple of holes for you to actually get warmed up to really feel and see what's going down. But my question is, now playing with 7 clubs, did you strategize your game per the hole to set yourself up to be able to hit your normal distances? Or did you just say, you know, I'm just ripping driver and then I'll, you know, say you have a 9 iron club in. Do you play the 8 iron or the pitching wedge and kind of just ram a pitching?
The strategy for me was, it was so windy, I'm just gonna rip driver and see where it ends up, and then I'm either gonna I'm gonna like back punch an 8 or just rip on a wedge.
Okay.
So
yeah,
I think I would strategy.
Okay, that makes sense, especially with the wind. Because my strategy, just say on like a cold, say normal, like no crazy condition day, I would probably strategize my hole based on, all right, I'm going to get stock 7 iron in. I'm going to try and get myself to that distance from the tee.
It was fun, man. Cause the thing was too, I only had the driver, right? So I didn't have another wood. If I were to redo it, I still think I'd keep the driver in the bag, but I only used the 4 iron like once. I think I'd get rid of a lot of the longer irons, maybe only carry up to the 6 and put like a hybrid in the bag, because there was a bunch of, you know what I'm saying? Or because there was a bunch of times where like, if I hit the driver on a par 5, I might've been able to give it a rip with a hybrid at like 225, 230, but there was no chance for the 4 iron, like no chance. So then I just kind of like pitched one up to like, you know, full wedge range and then let the wedge rip. But man, it was fun. It made me realize like I used all 7 clubs, but like there was not many times where I was like, man, I really could use this one. Like it made me get creative. And I think
Yeah.
that's what if you look back on the greats, like you look back on Sevi especially is just the one that comes to me, like comes to mind of who could just make a shot happen with any club, no matter what club you told him to do it with, he could hit it, whether it was a flop shot with like a 4-iron or whatever. Sevi could just do it. And I think that I think I'm going to try it a little more often because it was really cool because I had to start hitting like little buttercut kind of half sawed off 8-irons. You had to sling some 6-irons in there when you knew the 4-iron was too much, but a stock 6 was not enough. So you had to hit the hard draw 6 to try and, get a little extra roll out of it. It was fun. I enjoyed the crap out of it. And Steve had a blast too. We both agreed when we walked off, we were like, man, we got to do that again.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun because you're gonna in a tournament. If you're ever playing in a tournament round, and you're gonna have missed shots, you're gonna have off shots, and you're gonna get yourself put in that situation where you're like, crap, this isn't in my bag. What am I gonna do? So being able to have, say you have 3 different types of shots with a 7-iron. Now you figure out, okay, like how do I triple that? Like how do I make sure that I have 6 or 9 different shots with the 7-iron? Because like when you're saying that, Sevi came to mind, even Bubba came to mind, and Bubba mainly came to mind because he's more, I should say, more recent. And I remember watching a video and hearing a story saying when he was a kid, he had, I don't know, like a cut down iron or something, and he would just go out in his backyard and just hit the ball around and just hit it around trees, hook it around trees, slice it around trees, go up, under. So, he's one who has multiple shots in the bag with one club. And obviously you can go back to the 2012 Masters where he hooked it out of the woods to win the playoff. I mean, it's just,
I always think how many guys would have actually tried that shot in a playoff at Augusta. Yeah. Hell, there's guys that won't even try that shot at their home club on a Saturday afternoon, just screwing around. They will say there's no chance, let alone in the Masters. Yeah, you hit it nail on the head. There's not many people that can even envision something that artistic, and that's what it is. It's artistry when you start getting, like you said, 6 or 7 different shots with one club, and that builds your arsenal and it builds your confidence.
Yeah. They're just like, oh, all right. Well, I'm in this section of the woods. I can hit this low hook between these trees. And if I hit it with like maybe a 5-iron, I can get it up there and roll it up onto the green. And now I still have a shot at birdie.
Yeah.
Even if you're like 100 cool, and like 40 yards out.
Because when you do hit a shot off the tee, that's where it gets interesting too. Because you're not, if you're in that gapper range and you're off the fairway, if you're in some shit, you got to hit a hook or you got to hit a slice with a club you already know isn't the right club to begin with. It makes you think, and it makes you say, all right, do I got to hold off this finish, or do I really have to exaggerate the finish to get it to go where it needs to go? And I think it just makes you play the game of golf a little more authentically. Sometimes I think, there's always a big argument out there, especially with some of the, new trends of carry less, than 14, that 14 clubs is too many. So it was cool to dial it back and see, push the limits. I got a question for you though. What do you think the limits is as far as how little you could carry? Obviously you need a putter, but how many more clubs, other than the putter, do you think you could slim it down to?
So are you saying for me to just go out and play, or are we trying to like actually score?
Oh, I'm saying like to play, like to score and play. Like how little clubs could you get it down to actually make a competitive score?
All right, I'm gonna go off of. Now, see, I have all these questions. Am I playing my home track? I'm just gonna like badger you with the questions here.
I mean, let's let it rip. Yeah, we'll go home track. We'll go prime conditions, so no wind, no whatever. We'll go competitive round though. It's got to be a tournament round. Like I want the pressure to be on you, but I want to see how much you could slim it down to.
All right, let's see. Obviously, putter is a given. I would probably go if we're playing like a tournament from the tee set that we play from, either the blues or the whites, middles or like just before back. We're thinking there. I can probably go with at running deer. Let's go from the bottom. I would probably go putter, gap wedge, 9-iron, 7-iron, hybrid. I can probably do 5.
Woo!
Yeah.
See, that's
just
what I was
thinking. I'm trying to go off of like what do I mostly use based on the rounds that I play there.
Mm-hmm.
I could probably skim it down to 5 full clubs.
That's what I thought. If I needed to, based on how like far I hit it, I could definitely drop down to maybe even like a 5 wood, or like you said, a 4 hybrid, something around there. And then I think I could go, I think I could go 6, and then I think I could drop down from a 6 to a 9. I think I could buttercut a 6 when I need to. And then I think I need some sort of lofty wedge just to play it around the greens. But I think I could go hybrid. Like if this were bare minimum, like you had to ask me, like, if your life depended on it, how could you cut it down? It would be a hybrid, a 6-iron, a 9-iron, and a wedge. Just like a probably middle of the grade 56 maybe.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, because I could still hit that around 100, 115 if I need to on the juice, and then a putter. So I could get it down to 5.
Okay, yeah, I think at my home track, I can probably do 5 because I'm just trying to think of all the scenarios. Now, if I go, I'd probably want to have the gap wedge in my hand, fit my 50 degree, because our greens are massive, so bump and runs are probably pretty more normal. The only thing that
you can do that with a
9. That's also true. So maybe I can
get crafty. Come on.
I can probably go down to like my 50. It depends. It either be a gap wedge or my 54. One of those wedges.
Let's transition into this though. How uncrafty is your short game after this quarantine? Because mine is garbage.
I have this weird yippy feel that. So the first day I played, I'm like, hey, cool. And the funny thing was, I had this like little lawn area in the front of my neighborhood where I was hitting balls out of. I mean, I was like rough grass because it's just like whatever. I got to this tight lies and I'm like, okay, cool. I know this yardage. Blade, see ya. And then I'm sitting there afraid I don't want to blade it. Now I'm chunking it and then the ball's just plopping. I'm like, oh boy. So now I have this like yippy rock hard hand, like afraid to just hit the ball, come down into like a pitch shot or a chip shot around the greens. And it's just like, oh, it is brutal. And then another thing that screwed me is, how I was doing the putter with the putter in my room with the yardstick to make sure it was on line. So now I'm putting on this piece of metal that's rolling faster than a 15 speed, going out the courses that are coming off of aeration or are wet and they're slow. And first putt, I guarantee. So I had this nice feel with this like nice quick ass putt, and the first putt I take on the first day back to golf, it goes no more than 2 feet, because that's how slow like the greens are.
It's crazy.
They're coming off of aeration.
I have one go-to shot, and it's the Phil Mickelson flop shot right now. It's the only thing I can hit, because if there's no touch with that, it's just swinging, like it's a full swing flop shot, right? And it's just cutting underneath of it. All right, great shot. Anything less than like a full swing right now can't hit it. Cannot hit it. It's either a flub 3 feet in front of me and I do that 3 times in a row, or it's this, I don't even want to say it, but it's this Frankie butter knife just across the green, ankle biter, yap at your heels kind of shot. Oh, it's disgusting.
Yeah, I hear you. It's like almost if I stop as I'm coming to the ball, and then I like make like this jerk move, and then the ball, it's either I'm hitting the ground first or I'm hitting that the edge is hitting the ball and that thing's flying over the green. But today, and then I'm so mental with my putter, I'm back and forth with different putters. It's got to be the putter. It's got to be. I'm like so in my head. Oh my
I
God, it's
just got
insane.
the birdie ball putting green.
Yeah.
Shout out to Birdie Ball for getting those out way ahead of schedule. They originally said they were going to be back ordered to like the 15th of this month. I got it 2 weeks ago. So shout out to them for getting me that putting green so fast. But they screwed me today. I was up late putting on it last night,
Oh
hitting like
no.
100, 200 putts. I left my putter in the living room today. I had to putt with my dad's putter, a two
Oh
inch.
man.
So I putt with a half mallet Edel putter. The toes bored out of it. It has no toe weight whatsoever. My dad putts with a traditional, ping answer style, putter that's got a super fat super stroke on it, and it's 2 inches shorter than my putter. Dude, you want to talk about foreign feeling on the golf course today?
Oh
I
man.
had my dad's putter all day long, and it took me till like the 12th hole to actually figure it out, and it was a mess. But yeah,
Mm.
I'm in the opposite. I will not switch putters by all means, but today I was forced to, and it solidified the fact that I love my freaking putter.
Yeah, I switched back to my blade, Scotty Cameron. Switched back from the mallet to the blade, and the greens were actually like full blown recovered, cut tight, firm, fast. They were quick. And it was actually something I was used to from practicing on the roller the entire time.
Mhm.
And let me tell you this, I was actually putting lights out today. So we're on that brink where all the courses where they're, the aeration's complete. Now they can cut them, roll them, all that. So they'll be nice and tight and quick, hopefully this weekend and whatnot. So I'm hoping. I said, because we got this big team match coming up Saturday, and that's another cool thing that I've touched before. We have such diehard members and such diehard golfers at my course, and we all those who are not tech savvy, we're telling them, hey, we're going to set up get Venmo accounts. We're going to have a main guy run it. Just book your tee times when you can, because tee times are going fast. And we're going to either have 2-man games or like 4-man games. And they've been betting back and forth here and there. I mean, you got guys teeing off at 8 o'clock, finishing. I mean, we're finishing in like 2.5, 3 hours. And you got guys teeing off at like 10, 15, 11, 12, but they're all in this one community game, which is awesome to see. And by the end of the night, like 5 o'clock rolls around, 5, 6 o'clock, the guy who's running it has all the scores in, and he'll blast out an email saying like, here's the results for today, here's your payouts, and then he'll Venmo you back. So it's actually, it's really neat to find the creativity that our guys are doing. And I'm hoping that, and the information I'm providing, that it's you guys as out there as well are doing and can do. If you guys want to keep like your side bets going, or just kind of keep the juices and the competitiveness going, is to have these games set up where you can almost do it almost like virtually, but you're actually out there playing. It's not as if you have
I
to
know
be like consecutive tee times.
I know there's guys that at both clubs that I was a member at previously, and then I'm a member at now, that they say that's the only reason they go out, because they love playing for money. Like they love
Yeah.
golf, obviously, but like if they're not playing for money, it does not interest them to go out and play.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
it's cool to see if there's a will, there's a way to still get it done.
yeah, and it's cool to see. Yeah, I got my phone's blowing up because people are talking shit back and forth, and let's put this team together. Like this weekend, we got so far 4 teams. It's a 4-man game because one of our courses is in PA, so we're heading out there. We can play foursomes, so we got foursomes going, and we're doing a full handicap, 2 low, better ball net. Obviously, winner take all. Think we're throwing in some skins in there and whatnot. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. We're already picking teams. We got teams already booked. We got tee times already booked. We're like good to go. It's Monday right now, and we're playing this Saturday. We have this already set up.
That's
So
epic.
it's awesome to see the creativity coming out of everybody, just to be able to keep the competitive juices going, because
And just
our
another
guys like to compete.
thing that's just like so cool about what golf is able to do. You just said it's Monday. You're looking to this on Saturday already. Like it gives you something to look forward to. And I always say, and I'm a huge advocate of this, when you plan something, it makes time go by faster. I know it's totally mental and it's totally a kind of figment, I guess, of our own imagination. But the minute you plan something and put something on the calendar, you start looking forward to it. Instead of just sitting around the house all day and kind of moping because you don't have anything to do and the outlook looks bleak because there's nothing on the forecast of, plans, it gives you something to look forward to. And not only are you looking forward to it Saturday, but you're probably playing 3 more times or 4 more times before then. So
booked all this week.
boy,
Tuesday,
you're going to run
Wednesday,
out of tape.
Thursday,
You're going to run out
Friday,
of tape.
Saturday,
My
Sunday.
God, I love it.
Repeat.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I love it, man. But I'm also planned for tomorrow, like I said, and I'm actually, this will air when I'm already out of town. But we're headed to our cabin for a few days just to do some field work and get some crops planted and stuff like that. So, but the forecast, at the end of this week is looking like high 70s. So there is a small little town golf course where we have our cabin. So my dad, my uncle, my grandfather, and I will all be getting out and playing. So that'll be fun. And I'll try and get some content out from that course because it's a really neat small town course. But I don't know if I'll have this. I don't know if I'll have the phone service. So we'll have to stay tuned for that. But yeah, man, it's so cool to have it back. And, like I just miss golf, man. I missed it so much. The actual on course, like, we were joking around saying, oh, the golf club is as good as golf. And, oh, my simulator is as good as golf. Dude, now that we have it back, who are we kidding? There's nothing as good as being out on the course, hitting real shots, taking real divots, seeing the ball land, hitting real putts. Like, it just, come on, there's nothing as good as that.
Dude, I'll come back and I'll do my routine. Basically, I'll come back, grab some lunch, and just kind of like chill. And I'll turn on the PlayStation and I'll hit up the golf club. Granted, the game's great and whatnot. And then I'll play maybe, I don't know, 3 holes, and I'll hit like a off shot or something. But like, no, and I turn it off and I'll go do something else. I'm like, no, I can't. I was like, I'm itching to get back out there again.
Yep. Now, speaking of itching back out there again, the pros are starting to see their own little kind of money matches, which I think is cool. And I think has been going on, during quarantine, well more than we know of. I think these pros are out there every day in their own little gated communities, mucking it up with each other. But I think we're going to get an inside view into that a little bit. This is the one that screams authentic golf. The match between Tiger and Phil is the same as the first match that they put out. This huge publicity BS. None of them are going to play well. It's going to be a show of crappy golf, and it's going to be more chirping between Tom Brady and Peyton Manning than it's going to be of Tiger and Tiger and Phil. But yes,
like Phil's
the
gonna
driving,
try and throw some jabs,
some dad jokes, some high quality dad jokes in there. Him and Peyton are going to be the king of dad jokes that day. It's going to be like an Allstate or State Farm commercial, or Allstate, or whatever Peyton is an advocate for.
No, it should be. That's going to be interesting. But what I really like about the Ricky Fowler is that they're bringing out Sunday carry bags and carrying the clubs themselves.
That's so on brand for us. I absolutely love that. I'm so hyped for that. This is what I've been waiting for. And correct me if I'm wrong, and maybe I'm not even sure if you were following golf along that well to understand, but I think they used to do these kind of what they called, not preliminary matches, but they called them features or something like that. Like the old pros used to travel around and do that. Like Hogan used to
the Shell Houston ones, the one-on-one matches,
something like that, but not yes and no. They used to have the traveling pros because they just didn't make enough money on tour, way back in the day, Varden and like I said, Hogan and all those guys. They used to travel around and do these big kind of premieres where they would play one-on-one skins matches or one-on-one 1v1 match play tournaments, to a small crowd, just to kind of promote golf and promote the game. And it was really cool. I love seeing this, and I wish more pros would do this more often. Carrying their own bags, Sunday bag style, is going to be so sick to watch. Even if it's just I think live streamed on shitty cameras, it's going to be a fun time.
That's probably just trying to picture that. Just like you just see like Ricky or Roy roll it, walking up to up to their ball, and they just release the shoulder strap, and they're just kind of holding it, trying to get their number, and like looking in their bag, like, all right, what club do I want to use? And they grab it and throw the bag on the ground, and then just proceed to go through their routine. I just think that's gonna be because
I'm
that's
pumped
you don't
because
see that.
they're all going to be mic'd up, and I think
Mm-hmm.
these guys like Ricky, Matt Wolf especially, but DJ and Rory, they're all the younger generation that loves chirping people. Like when Phil and Tiger were mic'd up for their match, it was just, you could tell it was like the old guys who just didn't know what to say. It was very awkward. It was very hit or miss. These young guys, man, I feel like they're going to be chirping each other the entire time, having fun, kind of like, just shooting it back and forth to each other. It's going to be a blast to watch. Not to mention, this is the first time Seminole Golf Club is ever seeing like the public's eye on the golf course. That's going to be exciting.
Wow. Yeah, I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
Seminole was one of those golf courses that is just, I think historically old money, most exclusive golf courses kind of in the world. So for them to open their doors seems interesting, to say the least. But I think from different things I've read, it's in Juno Beach, Florida, just north of West Palm Beach. So it's obviously going to have some phenomenal weather. For this match. It's number 12 on Golf Digest list of America's 100 greatest golf courses. So, it's a phenomenal layout by the late Donald Ross. So I don't think he's ever made a horrible golf course. Since it was built, it's never been outside the top 20 in those rankings. So for this to finally get some TV time, I almost can bet you money that the members at Seminole are basically saying this is our chance to show the world that we need either a major championship here, whether it's a PGA or a US Open, or we need some sort of high profile golf to start coming to our golf club.
yeah, it'd be interesting to see because it just seems like they're playing like the same courses over and over again, and there's thousands of courses there out in the world and in the United States that can probably host a pretty good tournament. It's just when it comes to my thinking is obviously it all comes down to revenue and it all comes down to ticket sales. So which places have the largest facility and like the most open areas to just pack as many people as you possibly can on the golf course without interfering with the course itself and the players. So it just seems like they're constantly going to the same venues. And I just honestly think there are so many more venues out there that can host tournaments. It's just
while I completely understand,
standpoint.
like you said, while I completely understand the history of these events and why Pebble Beach is a staple on the U.S. Open rotation and why places like Marion and just some of the old golf courses that'll forever be a U.S. Open, host. I get why we go back to them, time and time again, but I don't think we should go back to them as often as we do. Instead of like a 5 or 6 year, gap in between, I think there should maybe be a 15 year in between and just kind of, at least and start featuring more of these golf courses that like Seminole, like just some of these underwritten, Seminole never saw a TV like debut or anything like that in the past. Just blows my mind. Like there's so many more courses out there that deserve kind of a shot. Like when they gave it to Chambers Bay was a phenomenal venue. Yes, it was tough, like logistically, it was tough to get stadium seats out there and everything. But I mean, everyone that you talked to said it was just a phenomenal course to host a championship like that. And so was Aaron Hills. You give Aaron Hills a shot, and now people can't stop going back to it and saying how great of a course it was. So I think there's places like that need to start contending or at least breaking the mold of PGA and US Open venues.
Oh, I agree. The Seminole tournament,
Uh-huh.
is it just going to be the players and the Golf Channel? because Golf Channel is picking it up, I guess, for the broadcasting.
So the way I understand it is a very, very like kind of just skin and bones production. I think it's going to be minimal, being it's only one group on the course. I think it's going to be minimal staff. They might have, I think, 2 or 3, maybe 4 sound and like camera guys out there. Other than that, I think it's just the power of technology. It's all just going to be live streamed and kind of like that style of play. So it's probably just going to be a very, very small amount of people out there. No fans, no nothing. I don't even think, the way I understood, there's no members even allowed out during this broadcast. So it's just the 4 guys and the crew, and that's about it. So it'll be interesting to see. I think this is a cool test run as well, to kind of see how bare the broadcast can get to cover one group, because like we've talked about in the past as well, there's such an opportunity to have a camera on every golfer during the entire round and get more golf content in a broadcast.
Oh, absolutely. And this is probably, you can have these type of matches throughout, the PGA Tour, or even like off season or whatever. You want to get kind of some type of different type of broadcast for golf viewership. It'll mix things up.
I know too, like the PGA schedule is so long that guys probably wouldn't want to dive into stuff like off-season matches and stuff like that. But I think it's going to be cool to see how much they can cover, and I hope they don't screw it up like I think they're going to. Like, I don't think we're going to see every shot from this match. You know what I'm saying? We deserve to see every shot from each one of these players when it's only 4 guys on the course, and I still don't think we're going to see every shot.
Probably not. I get figure. Yeah, you'll probably see like maybe 1 or 2 guys, and then they'll be like on cut to commercial, and then they're on the green.
And then, oh, by the way, Dustin Johnson has made it on the green. It's like, well, I didn't even see him tee off. How did he get there?
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting to see, and I hope they do a good job of it. And I'm just excited to see these guys. Obviously they're the best of the best doing it, and I'm excited to see them on televised golf. I'm excited to see televised golf.
I just want to see them rolling up with the Sunday carry bag strapped to their shoulder, standing next to the ball. That's all I want to see.
Obviously, they're all TaylorMade guys, so they're going to have TaylorMade bags. But who do you think made those TaylorMade bags? Is it going to be a McKenzie? Is it going to be a Jones? Is it going to be an off-brand? Who do you think got that winning ticket, that golden ticket to be the Sunday bag for this event?
It's either going to be TaylorMade's own made Sunday carry bag that they're going to promote, or it's going to be a customized McKenzie bag with TaylorMade logos all over it and their numbers. That's what I think. I don't know. I like the McKenzie bag, so I think I would like to see that, but I feel like it's going to be a marketing push with TaylorMade's. Let's see if they even have.
I think you're spot on. I think you're spot on. I think right off the bat they have to just make their own bag and make it all about TaylorMade. So I think it's going to be a full buy the TaylorMade bag that the pros use to carry their clubs at the COVID-19 relief match. So it'll be interesting to see. It's just going to be fun, man. I want to see televised golf. Last match. Moving on to the last match. Who have you got in the battle of the washed up dads? That's what I'm calling the second match.
Is it Tiger and Brady?
It's Tiger and Peyton, Phil and Brady.
Honestly, I think what it's going to come down to, it's going to come down to Brady against Peyton for like the overall score. Tiger and Phil are going to do their thing, and then it's just going to come down to the handicap players. Who plays better that day? If
you've watched the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am at all in the last like 3 or 4 years, Peyton and Eli have been, they play with each other every year, and every year Eli says that he beats Peyton. Every year. And Eli plays a full NFL schedule. Peyton has all the time in the world to practice. But I've also
And
seen videos of Brady swing, and it ain't pretty either.
yeah, but isn't Brady's a better handicap than, well, on paper, Brady has a better handicap than Peyton, right?
According to Action Network, Peyton Manning is a 7 handicap, and Tom Brady is a 6. So supposedly they are
Oh,
both,
wow.
yeah,
It's
supposedly they
gonna
are both high single-digit handicappers. But Peyton is quoted in saying, "I've thrown many touchdown passes and still feel very, very insecure about the possible shank on national television."
Wait, but that makes no sense. I mean, I know the camera's gonna follow you the entire time, but you're on TV playing Pebble, so
It's gonna be good.
I'm gonna,
I'm excited.
yeah, that's gonna be cool. I'm gonna go with the Tiger over the Phil Brady.
All right, I like that pick. They're favored in Vegas right now. They're
Of
highly
course.
favored, um, but I only think they're highly favored because Tiger was just on an absolute blitzkrieg of playing damn good golf before all this hit. So I think they're banking on Tiger to carry the team.
Well, that's the probably the main reason I was thinking about that is Tiger wasn't playing so great when he had the Riviera, and then like everything shit hit the fan, and then he took himself out all these tournaments to prepare for himself for the Masters. So he had all this time to just whatever was wrong with them, recover and practice. Just no cameras, just behind closed doors, do what he has to do. And I think that he also was saying him and his son have been competing against each other with like a bunch of chipping matches and stuff in their backyard and whatnot. So that's what I'm focusing on. That the Peyton, Tom and Tom Brady and the Peyton Manning. That's going to be a battle because they're so close with each other. It's just who has the better day, and that's just amateur golf right
I'm
there.
gonna
It's
love
like,
to see it as well because those guys are just fierce competitors. They wouldn't be the phenomenal football players they are if they weren't fierce competitors. So it's going to be awesome. I just hope it's close down the stretch, and these guys are put under the gun to make some shots because it'd be fun to see. I mean, let's be honest. If you know any of your buddies out there, there's 7 or 8 handicaps. They have the possibility of just striking some unbelievable shots. They also have the chance of making 8s. That's what makes them a high single digit handicapper. The occasional blow up hole. So that'll be fun down the stretch too to see which one of these guys makes it happen and which one kind of folds under the pressure because everyone knows tournament golf and especially national televised golf is a little bit different than playing at the club with the boys.
oh, no doubt about that. Yeah, it'll be fun to see.
I'm excited, man. Well, I think we've covered everything, from our experiences in COVID golf to what the next week or two here looks like in professional golf, televised professional golf. It's just so cool that golf is the first thing to come back, like they said it would be. Granted, it's not a PGA Tour event, but it's going to be the first kind of televised professional league event. It's not like I said, it's not a league event, but it's guys on TV playing golf live. It's
Yeah,
the
you're
first thing
you're
to come back.
you're finally and slowly getting something new back to in the sports world. Out of all sports world, luckily it's golf, and we love golf, so it's something that we're excited to be watching. But again, it's something new that's live. Because I'll be honest, I've been watching. Yeah, obviously, we all know I was a big lacrosse player in college, so I've been going on YouTube, and they have like full rounds or full games from the 2019 seasons. I've been flipping through that. I've been watching previous golf rounds from like the Masters and all that, just kind of, and even watching The Last Dance and Michael Jordan and all that hype right now. I've been watching. There's 96, 97 like actual NBA full games on YouTube. So I just been going on YouTube and just watching all past games and whatnot, which was cool to see and relive some of the hype and the history. But that gets stale after a little bit. I mean, you watch maybe like 20 minutes, maybe a little to like close to an hour into it, you already know the outcome. You're like, well, I already know what's going to happen here. Now we got something new. We got fresh legs in there. Yet you don't know what's going to be happening. So it's going to be interesting to see. I'm definitely excited. I'm definitely be tuning into the Ricky one. Again, I'll say it, I can't wait to watch one of those guys just roll up to their ball and maybe mishit it and be like, damn it, and have to do what us Ans do is grab that bag and throw it back on your shoulder and head to the ball.
It's going to be the best, man. It's going to be the most relatable televised golfing experience of our generation. There's just hands down. I mean, it's going to be so cool. It's like, I pray to God. I actually, no offense to any of these guys, but I pray to God one of them hits a cold shank so I can just be like, you know what? That's what I felt like walking off the second tee at Run Point. And now you feel that too, Roy McIlroy.
It'd be great if they have to play COVID conditions and not just park and play. Show up, tee it up first, and go. No warm up, nothing.
You know these guys are hitting range balls. They're not getting embarrassed on national television.
I know, but I just think it would be hilarious just to see that. Just go to the first tee and just go.
I love it.
Speaking of that, I wonder if they're going to have to keep the flag in.
Oh, yeah. That just goes back to the point. Are we putting money on pool noodles? Or are we putting money on the inverse? We forgot an option, by
What's
the way. Inverse
that?
cups. The cups still in the
hole.
They
turn them
upside
down.
Yeah. That might actually be worse than the PVC. I take it back. I don't hate the PVC as much as I hate inverse cups.
Oh, man.
It'll be fun to watch, man. I'm excited. What's your money on?
Yeah.
Pool noodle. My money's on pool noodle.
I'm going to go with the easy lift.
It's true. They're at Seminole. They got the money for that.
I know. You're going to get fine wine when you're at that course. You're not getting no pool noodles.
No. All right, that's fair. Your money's on Tiger and Peyton and the easy up, and my money's on since I got to be the contraire. My money's on Phil and Brady and the pool noodles.
But one more thing, who are you taking, Rory and Dustin or Ricky and Matt Wolff?
Oh, Ricky and Matt Wolff all day. They're gonna dust them.
You think? They're considered the underdog.
I know, but Ricky and Matt Wolff all day long.
Man,
they're gonna dust them.
I concur.
DJ's been slacking off with Paulina, and everyone knows it. I mean, Rory might carry the team because I'm a huge Rory guy, but yeah, Ricky and Matt Wolff all day long.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Fun to watch.
I love it. Absolutely love it, guys. Golf is back. We're pumped. We're playing golf. The pros are playing golf on TV. It's coming. We're excited. Just to be back. And with that being said, golf is back. So we made the announcement today on our story, or Tuesday on our story. I'm sorry. And today we are kind of telling you guys on a podcast, we're going back to 2 days a week. 3 days a week was awesome when we were, shut down and had no golf to play. But yeah, we're on the golf course all the time now. It's going to be summer. We're going to be playing a lot more. We're hopefully going to be traveling a lot more too. So with 2 days a week, we're hoping to bring you, one guest per week. And then, one kind of just recap of our lives in golf. And as we get more professional golf back, kind of just recapping golf news and what we did when we first started this podcast of just shooting the shit about golf and what we think about the current golf news. So, going back to 2 days a week, guys, and appreciate all the listens so far. When we were pumping out podcasts, you guys were listening. So thank you for doing that. And it meant a lot that, the more we put out, the more you guys listen. So that was really a blessing and truly, truly thank you guys for doing that. So if you guys like our podcast and love what we do, please, feel free to share our podcast with someone, whether it's on Spotify or iTunes. Share the link, spread the love. Let everyone know about the Enjoy the Walk Golf podcast. It's kind of what we love and our passion, and we just want to keep sharing our passion and people's stories for their passion in the game of golf via our podcast. And you can always go to www.enjoythewalkpod.com to support us as well with our recent merchandise launches, whether it's the hats or anything of the kind, t-shirts, mugs, anything like that, guys. If you want to support us, support the podcast, support the brand, everything is on the .com. So go check that out, and definitely give us a follow if you don't already on Instagram at Enjoy the Walk Pod. That pretty much we update all of our day-to-days, from Dante going and playing golf everywhere he's playing, to me wherever I'm playing. And we also kind of update all of our shows and stuff on there as well, and show you, put faces to names on who our latest podcast is with. So guys, go check that out. Dante, you got anything else? What's the tee up tomorrow? Where are you playing?
We're going to the Home Track Running Deer. Playing that in the afternoon with the old man again, bringing my dad out there. So going back to Running Deer. So I'll get some shots of the course for everybody. Let you know what that's like. That's kind of like obviously one of my favorites. It's, you get that true like member-esque feel. I mean, it's in the middle of nowhere, literally in the sticks of New Jersey. It's you come off the exit, you make one couple turns, and then boom, there's just this golf course. So yeah, so I'm gonna I talk about it a lot. The greens are absolutely massive. They're very undulated. So I'm gonna give you guys a sneak peek of that. So stay tuned. I'll definitely see you guys. I got them all lined up. I got all the greats of my favorite Jaworski courses. So I'll show you them throughout the week. So, but Running Deer is up next.
Awesome. Can't wait. And like I said, guys, I will be off the grid for a couple days, but Dante will be with you through the weekend and wherever he's playing. And we'll be back up and running and joining you guys Tuesday after this podcast, and bringing you some more fun content. So thanks for listening, guys. And as always, get out there, carry your clubs if you can. And if your feet hurt too much, tape them up like Dante just described previously, and get out there and enjoy the walk. So thanks for listening, everyone.
That's the stuff. One shot at a time.